What begins as a routine day for the bikers slowly transforms into a moment none of them will ever forget. The engines rumble to a stop at a roadside cafe, laughter still hanging in the air, when a small, nervous voice breaks through the noise. A thin child steps forward, gripping the handlebars of a worn-out bicycle, his hands shaking as if he already knows what it costs to be hungry. With eyes lowered, he makes an offer no child should ever have to make. He wants to sell his bike. The only thing that gives him freedom. The only thing that still feels like childhood. His words are simple, but they land hard. His mother hasn't eaten in 2 days. She told him she wasn't hungry, told him to finish his meal, but he knows the truth now. The bikers fall silent. Tough men, weathered by the road, suddenly unsure of where to look. One of them kneels to the child's level, asking gentle questions. Bit by bit, the story spills out. The mother sits nearby, weak but trying to smile, her pride forcing her to stay quiet while her child begs strangers for help. Hunger has thinned her face, but love still sharpens her eyes as she watches him. She never asked for charity. She only tried to survive, sacrificing her own meals so her child wouldn't feel the ache in his stomach at night. In that moment, the ride no longer matters. The destination fades. All that remains is the weight of a child's courage and a mother's silent suffering, enough to shake even the hardest hearts and set something powerful into motion. As the bikers listen more closely, the story behind the hunger begins to surface, layer by painful layer. It wasn't bad luck alone that brought the mother to this point. It was greed. It was betrayal. People she trusted, people who once promised support, slowly took everything she had and left her with nothing but responsibility and shame. She speaks softly, her voice trembling as she explains how her savings disappeared, how signatures were forged, and how promises turned into closed doors. A relative who offered help took control of her small business, then pushed her out. An employer who swore loyalty withheld her pay. Each act of betrayal chipped away at her dignity, forcing her deeper into desperation. The bikers exchange looks. This is no accident. This is a woman crushed by deliberate choices made by others. Yet through it all, she never stopped being a mother. When money ran out, she skipped meals. When eviction notices came, she smiled and told her child everything would be fine. Survival became her daily routine, not for herself, but for the small life depending on her. She learned how to stretch a single meal into 2 days, how to walk longer routes to avoid bus fares, how to hide tears until her child fell asleep. Pride hurt, but hunger hurt less than the thought of her child suffering. The bikers realized something then. This woman wasn't weak. She was strong beyond measure. And the people who betrayed her didn't just steal money. They stole safety, stability, and peace. That truth ignites something fierce in the hearts of the men listening, a resolve that greed should never go unanswered when innocence pays the price. The bikers refuse to walk away. Something has shifted inside them, a quiet but unbreakable resolve that this story cannot end with sympathy alone. They have seen hardship on the road, felt pain in their own lives, but this is different. A child selling his bike to feed his mother is a line no one should ever cross. They stand together, leather jackets creaking as they move, no longer strangers passing through but men bound by a shared purpose. Determined to confront the ones responsible, they begin asking questions, making calls, piecing together names and locations. Not with violence, but with certainty, with presence, with the kind of confidence that makes guilty people uneasy. What began as a casual ride turns into a mission. They accompany the mother, ensuring she and her child are no longer alone. Meals are bought, hands are steadied, and for the first time in days, she eats without pretending she isn't hungry. Her eyes fill with tears, not from weakness but from relief. When the truth reaches those who cause the harm, it carries weight. The biker's reputation precedes them and suddenly excuses crumble. Papers are returned. Money is released. Threats fall silent. Justice doesn't arrive loudly. It arrives firmly. In that transformation, the bikers become more than witnesses. They become protectors. The road has hardened them, but it hasn't stolen their humanity. If anything, it has sharpened their sense of right and wrong. As they ride away later, engines humming into the distance, they leave behind more than help. They leave behind dignity restored, fear replaced with hope, and a powerful reminder. When innocence is threatened, even the toughest hearts can and will stand guard.